Welcome, guys, to Public Diversion. We are a YouTube channel slash podcast. My name is Chris. Over here, that other bald guy, that's Ben. And then below, Mr. Pretty, that's Trevor. That's Trevor. What we talk about on this channel, we talk about life. We talk about sports. We talk about the best shows on TV right now. Anything like that, we talk about. And so we know that you're going to like our channel. So why don't you just go ahead right now and click on like, and then you share it. And then click on subscribe so you can see what we got next for you. So first off, before we get started, because one thing we do on this channel is we do drink recommendations. So today I was working on my drink and like y'all know that I love Monster. I love my Monster. So I was making my drink and I accidentally mixed it with Monster. I put it in the wrong glass. And so now I got this janky ass drink, which I hate, but I got to drink it and then tell you what I'm drinking first. So first off, what am I drinking? So I had this chick come over, a friend, Trevor, a friend. It wasn't nothing else. But so this friend came over and she brought over this gin. It's called Bloom, Jasmine Rose Gin. And I'm not a gin dude. Are you guys gin dudes?
No. Not really. I feel if when you drink gin, you have to have a monocle on.
Well, yeah. Well, this was kind of not because it's girly. It even got like this thing on here, and so I tried it out.
Okay, a pink monocle.
A pink monocle. All right. Well, it is a pink. Well, it's pink, like the liquid's pink. And so I tried it out, and I'm not a gin fan, but this gin is actually pretty good. What I imagine it though is that I imagine it's like, okay, if I went to a park and I grabbed a bunch of rose petals and squeezed them in my mouth. That's this gin. That's exactly. I know. We're right. No, but that's how I imagine it. It literally tastes like rose petals squeezed, but you get that tingliness on the tongue, so it's alcohol kind of thing. But it's good enough. I would say this drink would probably be the best with a gin and tonic. If you put it just with sparkling water, because it already has a flavor. If you try to mix it with something like me, a freaking dumbass, you'll get this, which is not good. So that's nasty. But if you have it plain,
I'll still try it.
I mean, yeah, you'll strike, yeah, because you're an energy fan. But if you drink it plain, it's better. And so you guys notice how good my ball came out today? Look at that.
That's a good one.
That is
a good one.
So that's what I got today for drink. That's what I'm drinking. What are you guys drinking?
I am pulling out one of my favorite whiskeys. For the first show, I'm going to put out my best one that I love. Well, okay, maybe it's not my favorite.
Second show, dog.
Second show. That's right. This is our first time showing what we're drinking, though.
Yeah.
Okay, second show, second favorite whiskey. There we go. I saved myself there. Buffalo Trace. It's one of my favorites. This is not one that you mix with Coke or Sprite or really any other type of mixture with it. Just straight rocks and whiskey. It has a very good smoky flavor to it. I'm not really, the traditional or really like the types that are just kind of bland and not really have no flavor to it. This one has a little smoky to it. I enjoy this one. Second show, second favorite whiskey. I'll bring out my first one on a later date. Okay?
I like your glass though. That's a nice curve. We got some nice curve there.
Unfortunately, my ball did not come out very round.
That's supposed to be a ball?
No, I didn't have time to make one yesterday. I just pulled it out from some different ice and they all kind of formed together.
Oh, that's nasty. What you got, Trev?
As for me, I think the last one had the apple, but this time Jim Beam peach.
I've never had that. I've never had that. You got to tell me all about that.
That one I've never had either.
Sweet Buzz. Obviously, I just drink it straight. I don't need to ask.
Okay. Okay. You're a real man. Okay.
No, not really. It's a very, very sweet drink, but it's it hides the alcohol. So it's a very, very dangerous drink. It tastes like it'd be really good if you made some slushy or kind of smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
Add that, a nice summer or spring type drink.
So to a peach cobbler.
Is it like peachy, like Snapple peach? Like it tastes like the Snapple peach kind of thing?
Yeah.
Did you buy all the Jim Beam flavors or what's going on? How come you?
I got the apple because I love the apple. And I got the peach because I assumed it would be closer in flavor. Yeah. And I something different.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, I definitely recommend this one too, especially you go to a 99-cent store if you want to water it down a little, not water, dilute it. And you could get the little like what is it, little mango drink that they have, the nectar?
Oh, the Arizona mango,
Arizona, yeah, that's
the
yeah.
mucho mango.
Carton. It comes in a blue carton.
Oh, I don't know that one. I thought you were talking about that 99-cent drink, the
No,
mucho mango or whatever it's called.
Trevor's trying to get us a paid advertisement.
Hey, that's perfect.
Trying to get us paid advertisement. Like, just so you know, your mic's cutting out a little bit.
Mine?
Just a little bit, yeah. You hear that too, Ben, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. But anyway, how was you guys' week? Anything exciting this week prior to like what we're gonna talk about? Trevor, I know you got something. I know you got something. My week was pretty anticlimactic. I mean, for me, I try to go to the gym. I only made it 3 days because for those of you that are not from LA gyms just opened, and I was so hyped to go. And I didn't even work out hard. I worked out like light. I made it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I couldn't even move Thursday. Friday I was still sore, and then like Saturday I took a break. But like, man, I was freaking beat. But aside from that, nothing really special for me. But how about you guys?
For me, I was actually in Vegas this weekend. I went for the March Madness tournament. Went with a couple of my old college buddies, basketball buddies, and was up pretty good thanks to the first or second round or second half of the first round, and then that second half of the first round at the start of 32 kicked my butt. But other than that, had a pretty good time.
Tons of upsets, freaking tons of upsets.
There was, and luckily for me, I was on a good majority of them. I was playing a lot of the upsets and a lot of the unders. I for those that don't know, I kind of write a little bit for a blog or a website called the Betting Predators, and some of those guys do some good work. And my article was the fact that there are so many games that finish on an under, and the under is a total score of the game. You can bet on whether it's going to go over a certain amount of points or be under a certain amount of points. And it was some crazy number over the last 10 years, like over like 70% of the games have hit on the under in the first round. So I was playing that a lot,
70%.
and I was playing a lot of the underdogs, because another guy that did another article was talking about how since this year is going to be so crazy that a lot of the underdogs have been ranked in the wrong spots. And just for an example, the first one you could think of right now is the Chicago Loyola team, Chicago, who they put in the 8th spot, and that was way too low. They should have been around a 4 or 5 seed, not 8. And of course they took out Illinois, who happened to be my favorite to win it all this year.
Oh,
So
really?
my bracket was busted on the first 2 days because I also had Texas in the championship on the other side.
Dang.
So
that was gone.
My
Did you win anything?
busted.
Did you come back with anything? At least a packet of ketchup or something? Like anything?
No, I pretty much came back almost even. I won most of my money in the first day, and then lost most of it on the second day on Sunday, betting the next round of games. So,
but really, you didn't like
good time. The what?
You don't like Michigan?
I am not a fan of Michigan. I was not a fan of Michigan going into this game. I thought that they were going to have a very, very hard second round matchup, which they ended up playing against a team I didn't think they were going to play against anyway. So I thought they were going to get upset by the team that got the upset in the first round. Unfortunately, that didn't go my way either. But I loved Ohio. I was all over Cal State, Santa Barbara. They didn't win outright, but they covered their points. Yeah. And the other one that I really liked a lot was Ohio. Wait, did I say Ohio right now?
Yeah. You said Ohio.
I'm sorry, not Ohio. Oh my God, I can't think of it right now off the top of my head.
Gonzaga. You were Gonzaga.
No, underdog. I'm talking about underdog.
I'm just kidding.
But Oral Roberts surprised me. They're a fantastic team. They can't play a lick of defense, but they'll put 90 up on anybody in the country, I feel. I really didn't know much about them until actually the tournament started, and fortunately, they're probably gonna get beat by Arkansas. Arkansas beat them earlier in the year in December, But the funny thing is that guy, the coach for Arkansas, Eric Musselman, scheduled his team purposely against 3 of the top mid majors, and unfortunately, all 3 of those mid majors ended up making the tournament at a 14-15 spot, which was Oral Roberts, North Texas, and the team that took out Texas, Texas, whatever their name is, Christian, whatever, that are out now. They're the purple team that took out Texas.
I have the bracket up here. Yeah, I saw that the Christian school that was seeded 14th, right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, Oregon State was the other team that I liked as an underdog, because they have a really scrappy point guard and a lot of bigs. They kind of reminded me a little bit of and this is the way that team came into the tournament that year. It was UConn with Kemba Walker, where they didn't really have a lot of solid players around Kemba, but it was just Kemba, and that kid Lucas is, man, he's a solid guard. He's gonna be very, very good. And I hope they can make it farther than they did, but I think they ran into a buzzsaw, because I think they play against Chicago Loyola next. I believe you have the bracket right there.
Yeah, I have the bracket.
They play Chicago right next.
I just closed it. So who are you talking about?
Oregon State.
Oregon State. Plays Oklahoma State.
No, they just beat Oklahoma State.
Oh, then okay. So this is then my bracket is maybe old. Dang, I thought this was the updated one.
Let me see.
Yeah, they do play Loyola Chicago next, so that's gonna be another great game. I really like that Chicago Loyola team. I hope they go far. They go deep. I'm hoping they make it to the Final Four, and they got a pretty easy path now to get there to a certain degree.
Yeah, Pac-12 was killing it. They were
killing it. They did a great job. And fortunately, one of my other favorite teams was Colorado. They have 2 solid bigs, and then the kid McKinley. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name too right now. A little scrappy, kind of like a little Pat Beverly type of player. Seniors. I was hoping they would pull up the upset again, but fortunately not against Florida State.
One.
So that Sweet 16 is going to be amazing. I think this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, there's going to be a lot of great games. Again, I think Gonzaga is going to just absolutely destroy Creighton. That UCLA-Oregon game is going to be great. Those guys have had some tough matchups against one another the entire time. I think Florida State's going to get the upset against Michigan. And UCLA, I think, is going to get blown out by Alabama, unfortunately. Really? What else we got there? Villanova, I think, is super overrated. I had them losing in the first round, but they actually made it to the Sweet 16. I think Baylor's going to absolutely destroy them. And that Arkansas Oral Roberts game is going to be like 200-200 by the time the game is done, because both those teams just run the floor and score and do not play a lick of defense.
Were you? But prior to this, were you were you keeping track with college this year, like full throttle?
When I started doing those articles, I was actually in charge of the Pac-12, and I wrote a couple different articles for the Pac-12 for them, since I'm on the West Coast and a lot of those other guys I'm working with are on the East Coast. So I kind of kept on tabs a bit. I'm actually kind of a little bit surprised of how well the Pac-12 did, but mostly just because I wasn't a big fan of UCLA coming in, because they had 2 huge key injuries, and that team really doesn't have a number 1 scorer. They kind of rely on the 3 J's on that team, and they honestly just really surprised me. Played very well. They might have got lucky because they got to play the 15th seed in the second round, that team that beat Texas. But other than that, I'm not surprised by Oregon State. I'm not surprised by Oregon at all. They're another team that's going to average 100 points in the rest of the way in this tournament. I think they're going to beat SC, and SC, though their guards are not top tier, they just have one of the most dominant big men that are in this tournament right now. And supposedly he's going to be the number 2 pick. I don't see how he's not going to be the number 1 now that Cade Cunningham is pretty much played himself down out of Oklahoma State. He was the point guard for Oklahoma State, who came in this tournament, was going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. And now I think Evan Mobley probably is going to push himself up to that number 1 spot with how well SC did, and definitely could secure that spot if SC gets past Oregon and puts themselves into the Final Four. So if any of you guys out there that love sports and we're watching college games this year, send a comment down below, and I'll see. Let me know what you guys think, and if you need some advice for this weekend, let me know as well. And again,
he's the guru, man. He's the guru.
Again, by my website,
Hey, man.
it's not my website, but the website I write for is bettingpredators.com. Check them out if you guys get a chance. Maybe I also post a link on our Twitter as well.
Yeah. So speaking of predators, so how's dating life going for you, Chris?
I just straight up just put me on blast. Well, y'all know that I just got out of a relationship. I was dating this girl for maybe like a year and a half or so. Cool chick. She just, she's not the nicest person, I would say, not the nicest person. So after that, I was telling you guys how like it's this whole thing where I do believe like for some reason something in the ethos when like you're recently single, it seems like people start hitting you up. So like I didn't say nothing, and you guys know I'm not on social media, but like so I stopped talking to her, and then all of a sudden I get these texts and stuff like that. I only started talking to one chick, but we haven't gone out, but I'll probably go out with her maybe this week if I feel like it, but I haven't been in no type of
just do it. Just do it.
I already know.
There's no rush. What's the big rush?
You are a creature of habit.
You're not rushing into a relationship. You're just rushing in to have a little fun and go out and learn and talk and experience and learn something new from somebody.
Yeah, but Chris is a creature of habit though.
Nah.
He repeats the same cycle over and over again.
Nah.
So
maybe. Well, my sister's the one that finally realized. She told me kind of like she was like a while ago, she was looking at like my dating habits and the girls that I've dated, and she's the one that brought it to my attention, which was like an eye opener that I tend, and I don't want to say like dominant because that sounds like weird, but she kind of brought to my attention that it seems like I date girls that are more aggressive because I'm so passive, because I'm like a passive, chill, like I like go with the flow. Like it's typically the girls that are more like on top of things and aggressive and like pushing the fact that I typically like, she's like, yeah, look at her. And I was like, oh, damn, you're right. Like, I guess because I'm just like, oh, whatever. And if like, if you're chill and I'm chill, then we're probably like, it would go super slow. But if you're like this and I'm chill, then like, I just like fall into it, I guess. And I didn't
what I got through like little debates that we've had before as a group, I've noticed is you don't go with the flow, you go with their flow. There's a difference.
It could be.
There's a difference. Because people can go with the flow and it switches the flow, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's her, but this is your like, if someone's assertive and
assertive, that's
probably more on the abrasive side, then it's like whatever you want, just I don't want to cause any ruckus. But me, if anybody's like that, it's for sure I'm gonna cause ruckus because I don't like anyone.
You're the ruckus maker though. You're the chaos.
No, I'm not. I'll go with the flow, but I have an understanding because I've dated so much where it's like there's certain things that I know that aren't gonna work out long term. It's just gonna progressively get on my nerves and it's gonna blow up into some big thing. Like I know my deal breakers over just for the simple fact, and Ben knows about this. Like I've been doing dating apps since 2009, 2010. So it's like
dial-up. You were on that dial-up.
Yeah, man.
You were on the board of OkCupid when they were first thinking of creating a company.
No, I was gonna write a book called Copy Paste Love. I still might do it. Copy Paste Love. Because that whole introduction, I was like, yeah, you don't know who you are until you've dated enough people, and then you get to learn what your deal breakers are. You get to learn more about yourself. You get to learn how to treat others and how they respond to you. Like it's not just about going out and dating and being a hoe. Yeah, I lived that life. But
was there a D in there? Lived
with a D.
Lived? Okay.
Yeah, I can't. It gets old. Like it legit gets old. But most people on this earth should go through a hoe phase. Most. I say most. I used to say all. Now I say most. Because some people just naturally, it's just not who they are and what they're about. I understand that. But there are some, like myself, I had to go through that to learn some things.
You had to. You had to. It was a must.
Yeah, because I was suppressed for so long.
Well, mine is interesting that you say that, because I wouldn't necessarily say everybody has to as well, but like mine, the stereotypical is like you go through a really bad breakup, you were with somebody for a long time, and then you hoe out, right? I was actually the opposite. A really bad breakup, I didn't want to hoe out. It was only years later where I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me try this out a bit. And I was like, I'm not saying I was older, but like, you know, I was not a young sprite whippersnapper.
Oh please, you're still a young whippersnapper of us all.
Yeah, I was like, what is he talking about, man?
No, you were still in your mid-20s when you were going through that.
I had my first gray hair like 2 weeks ago. Oh damn.
Yeah, that's how young you are.
Yeah.
No, some people get gray hairs when they're older.
I had gray hairs in my pubes like 5 years ago, bro.
Your first pube was gray? Your first pube, like, hey guys, look at this.
No, that's when you know you're like, I'm getting old. Like, this sucks. Yeah.
But what the story that I wanted to tell you that I was talking to you earlier, Ben, was like, so for those of you that watch Saturday Night Live, I love that show. And so there was an episode that it was this season, I think it was like episode 12, where it was making fun of the fact that, like, you know, me and Trevor were half black, making the fun of the fact that, like, especially, and I think it's especially right now, there's some people that fetishize blackness, like they like blackness, like maybe like, and so if you know me, like I'm like I would say that I'm kind of like whitewashed or whatever. I'm not like ghetto or whatever. And so like with this girl that I was talking to, like she like, I had the feeling that, like, because she kept saying things like, oh, I bet you like grits, and oh, I can't, like, oh, I bet your family cooks really well, and like, oh, I love your type of music. And I'm like, you don't know me. Like, you like pop rock? You like pop rock? You like hamburgers and tacos? Like, I don't do any of that black stuff. So she came over the other day, and I wanted to like show it to her without telling her that like this SNL episode that's making fun of you is somebody else. So I made this whole story on how, like, oh yeah, I was talking to this other chick, and like, oh, she was infatuated with all things blackness. And it, you know, it's funny because she didn't like me, she liked the blackness. And then I showed her that episode, and she was like, oh man, yeah, people like that are terrible. They don't like the person. They're too focused on like the image. And I'm like, I'm talking about you, girl. Like, you don't see this.
Time out.
See this. This is you. Yeah. What?
Okay. The fact that you even are entertaining her in such a way where it's like not a relationship, but you're giving that, if you already recognized what she was doing, at most she could only see the blackness, aka run through it once or twice, and that's it. Not bring her to the house, chill, watch TV shows and all that, because she already has a certain mentality, and it's not your responsibility to teach her about black people. It's her responsibility to seek and learn knowledge, like, on how to treat people. It's not yours, because it's not our burden. That it's like extra burden that I've always had to hold, and how to preach to people on, like, certain people. Have you noticed that certain people will start to use certain slang around you just because you're black?
Oh,
I hate that shit. I call that shit out. I was like, that don't make you cooler. You look like a dumbass. You look stupid. I'll tell them, and they'll feel stupid afterwards. It's like it just sounds stupid. I hate it, but I won't even girls like that. I won't even entertain that stuff anymore. No way. Even back then, like when I was like, I really like would do whatever it takes just to like get over it. Like you said, like a breakup or whatever.
Yeah. It's not like I'm trying to make it work or anything. It's just, you know, we cool. We're cool like that. Like, we're cool like that, you know?
He was giving her a test to see if she understood exactly what she was doing or wasn't doing.
Yeah.
I don't even know her, and she failed. Why don't you just let me have a conversation with whoever you're thinking about? And I was like, nope.
No, hell no. I'm
not good enough for Chris.
You're like the last step. You're like the last step. No,
you're only do that with us.
No, yeah, no, they know. They've only seen like one girl that I've ever dated in my life. Like,
so, but why would you do it with? Oh, first of all, Ben, with you and Julie, it shouldn't happen. You know why? Because Julie judges hard. That shouldn't happen. And
She
it's none of
loves
her.
that. She does
And then
love that. For
if
those
she
at
had,
home that are watching, Julie is my wife, and she is Chris's sister.
yeah.
Wait,
And
what? You're married to my sister? What? No, let me get out here. Oh.
Yeah. So that is just like on the outer levels. If you give it like a small, brief descriptions, that's cool. But once she's your sister is too far in, then that's it. She's gonna like. I wish you would have done that to my ex, though. Let me know. That's the only time she ever stayed quiet about anything. So I endured, and I was like mentally abused and
if we had this show, well, that's no okay. Well, emotionally, tell me a little about that, and then I'll tell you about what happened. The last thing that happened with the girl that I was dating for the last year.
Okay. I wasn't big on signs until there was enough women in my life that were big into horoscopes. But I did notice a trend for a while. Or not trend. I'm drawn to people who care about my well-being emotionally. And what I've noticed is a lot of cancers are. So I was dating a lot of cancers for a while. But the thing is, they're also emotionally manipulative. So they would use my love for them. Well, my ex, I loved her, but like prior, like just my me liking somebody or whatever, they would use that against me all the time in a manipulative manner, whether it be like them feeling desperate for like help with some random stuff that I would go out of my way, drop everything I'm doing to focus on them. So it took so it's good to hear outsiders sometimes, especially when they're close and I trust. Yeah. Like Ben and Julie, like I didn't know you at that point to trust your opinion on things. But if they would have said a couple things, it would have brought things to my attention, which when I'm in love, I'll neglect facts because I have, let's call it a set goal. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I love someone, so I'm going to do whatever I can to maintain that relationship. And, you know, I'll sacrifice all my shit to make sure what we have together works. Which is bad because I was neglecting all aspects of my creativeness. Like I wasn't even shooting anymore. I was doing less and less art because I was so focused on her and her. For everyone, I know no one knows, she had 3 kids. So it was me helping out with the kids and her. So that was just a lot
of responsibility, bro.
So when she would cry about things being overwhelmed, I would do what I had to do, help the kids out, or play with the kids to distract, or just so she could like clean up a little bit or whatever she needed to do around the house, do laundry, you know, just little stuff like that. But it gradually built till like I was immersed in her world and left mine behind. Yeah. But I got treated like a kid eventually, and I didn't like that. But yeah, anyways.
I wish we had this podcast back then. I wish we had this podcast. You could let it all out.
Yeah. Well, I just kept it all internal because it was like it was my own issue that I had to get through. Yeah. So I internalized it, and it was tearing me apart. Yeah. And I didn't let anyone else know. Well, so yeah, when I broke up with her, which I didn't want to do, but I had to because she was so far gone. And she wasn't opening up. I was like, I'm giving 100 and you're giving like 50%. Yeah. So when I broke up with her, I had outsiders tell me I need to be more sensitive because of her having kids. And I need to understand. I almost punched a hole through their head.
Because they don't know. But you also never told them about it. So how would they know?
Because it's not their business either way.
That's true.
So them judging based on the fact that I broke up with someone who had kids. Yeah. It's like, who the fuck are you? Yeah. Like, this is my heart. Yeah. Like, this hurt and you're judging. Yeah. I don't want to throw out names, but there's a couple names that Ben knows that I'll tell you after. But yeah. But what about you? What's going on?
My thing is kind of similar where like where I was just involved in like as things started to progress, I kind of started seeing that like, you know, and I hate to say there's always like a dominant and like a less dominant person in a relationship, but I tend to see that, and so like I cared more, and I would say like caring more put me in a lower position where it seemed like she didn't care as much, but she knew that I would make up the slack kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I knew this for a while, but eventually it started to like wear down on me. And again, because I'm that person, especially that you think that I'm never going to say anything or whatever, it kind of ended up being like that, where like it was tearing me up inside, and I don't want to cause arguments, and I really want to like just go with the flow. So I just keep it to myself, and I don't say anything. And I like slowly started like pulling away without causing confrontation, because she's a very confrontational person too. And I know that if I were to even say a word, like it'd get this big argument. She'd make me feel stupid with my freaking tail between my legs. Like, and so I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to avoid feeling like I was mistreated and feeling like I was stupid. So I kind of like just kept pulling away. But like I remember, like, so the event that happened was like it was like at this time I already said in my mind, in my heart, that I was going to stop talking to her, and it got to the point to where I progressively pulled away so much that I felt like I was scot-free. And so I was like, all right, I've ended it that way. Yeah, you can call me the cheesy way of ending things, but I did it that way. I felt like that was also better for myself, rather than have a conversation where we're going to argue and this and that. Yeah, I felt like that was better. But then her birthday passed, and I didn't want to be a douche, so I said like happy birthday and this and that, and then she starts talking to me and texting me a lot the day after how it was a horrible birthday or whatever. And then so me in my mind, because like in my heart, like it's not like I don't care for this person, I was like, well, let me just try to make this girl smile. Like, so I'll buy a bunch of flowers. I'll go and I'll deliver them to her front door. Like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of, like, I really don't want to be a part of your life, because it's like, it's like I don't feel like you're the nicest to me, but like, you had a bad day. At least maybe I could do something to put a smile on your face, but I don't want you to know it's me or like any of this. Like, yeah.
Why? You don't owe her anything.
I don't, but like me as a person, like, it's not like I don't care about her. Like, like, so like, yeah, so then I go, I had this, and I wasn't gonna do it at first, so I had to even go in my mind, like, should I even do this? Like, yeah, I don't know or anything, but like, why even do anything? Because like eventually, like, she's smart, she might put two and two together, which she might, but like, I don't know, like, it seems like you're not happy, and I would at least like you to smile in life, period. Like, I have no hard feelings against anything. So I buy flowers, and we're rose petals, and I go to deliver them to her front door, and like hiddenly, secretly. So it was funny, because I get there this one day, and so as I'm opening her apartment gate, her mom shows up, and her mom loves me, and I'm like, oh fudge, it blows my cover. But it didn't. I started chatting it up to her mom, and her mom promises not to tell her. So I leave the flowers and rose petals on her apartment door and all this. And then she comes home, and then she sends me a text, hey, did you come to my apartment? And I'm gonna deny it, because like, I'm just denying it. So I'm like, nah. And then she was like, oh, well, someone left a bunch of trash at my door. And like, I don't even know how to respond to that, because like, even now you're making me feel stupid just by you saying the word junk. It was like junk or trash. Like, she said something like that. Somebody left a bunch of junk or trash on my door. And I'm like, already, like, that's starting to like, I'm already understanding, like, oh man, there's either going to be an argument, or she's just going to make me feel real stupid right now. And then so I'm like, all right, well, what kind of trash? Like, I'm just playing into it, like, oh, well, what kind of trash? Like vandalism or whatever? And they're like, no, just a bunch of junk that I have to clean up. And then she just goes on this huge rant. And she's just making me feel real stupid. She, I haven't said it's me, but she's just making me feel real stupid. And eventually I tell her, okay, it was me. And if you don't want it there, I'll go over there and I'll go ahead and clean up the flowers. I'll clean up the rose petals that are there. Like,
you tell her.
This is what I tell her. I'll freaking do it. It was me. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. I just was trying to do something nice, because I thought that maybe you weren't like up on your feelings, like, so I'll freaking clean it up. She's like, no need, and all this. But it was just the thing, like, yet again, she makes me feel stupid yet again, and I'm not even involved anymore, and I still feel like a freaking idiot. And it was just like, man, that,
But you shouldn't. Maybe it's just recognizing toxic traits from people, because she sounds highly like unappreciative of anything.
She's not a bad
but
person. She's not a bad person. I legitimately I like this. You know, she's cool. She's a cool person. But like,
no,
from
what you told me, she's not cool.
It wasn't the best for me.
She's not. That doesn't sound cool.
It wasn't the
you
best.
are just a nice guy. You are nicer than I am.
Oh, yeah, of course I'm. Yeah, I am. I am a nice guy. No, I am a nice guy. I am a very nice guy. Yeah.
But you also can't be against her just because she's having one bad day. It's just
I'm against her. You know why?
Chris knows about her more than anybody else. So I don't care. I'm not gonna say that she's a bad person or a good person. It's just
I'm gonna say she's a bad person.
Sometimes she's bad days at times.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she's a bad person.
I'm pretty sure there's people out there that think I'm a bad person because I had a bad day one time. You know, everybody loves me.
Ben, you're more lovable than I am.
Ben, he's a teddy bear.
So I'm gonna tell you, I'll see a situation and I'll be honest on how I feel, and I'll tell you my truth. I'm deemed an asshole sometimes, but if you think about some of the things I actually tell you, there's some truth in that, and you can find a lot of truth in it. Yeah. So people could do what they want with the information that I present to them. Maybe I don't present it in the manner that's like as palatable as it should be. Yeah. Because Ben has a couple friends who aren't really fans of me because of the way that I present information to them. We know that
information. Just that reason.
But,
that's the only thing.
but here's a big thing. If they gave me stuff, I wouldn't call what they gave me trash. Yeah. I appreciate anything that anyone does for me, if it's a stranger or whatever. That's fucking disrespectful. Yeah. Well, straight up disrespectful. Yeah. No matter who. Like, she could have been playing it up just to further the communication with you, which that's what it sounds like it is. But even so, she's going the wrong way about it in a very, very rude way, because she let you know that she was having a bad time. Yeah. And she's not a dumb girl. She knew it came from you. Yeah. Her calling it trash will lure you in because you're a good guy. You'll be like, oh, really? What else? And like, you'll she's continuing the conversation. Yeah. To be attached to you somehow. And since she's a toxic person, that's how she knows how to do so. And it's not in a manner that is a healthy relationship, because she might be more addicted to friction. Like you said, if she thrives off of conflict and arguments, it's one thing to have a debate or a discussion about things, but if you just want to argue just to feel something, that's something different. That's something that has nothing to do with you. Yeah. That's her. And that's toxic as fuck. And that she's putting that burden on you, and you don't deserve that. You're too good of a guy. Straight up. Like, I know enough about you. I know enough about Ben. So if anyone messes with either of you, it'll flip my lid. If you guys tell me, I'm going to be pissed, and I don't like them. I don't like those fucking people. Ben knows how I feel about certain acts in this world. I hate her. Like, I don't like anyone who disrespects good people. And I could recognize good people after a certain amount of time. I'm like in the in-between. I'm like in like purgatory. I'm a nice guy, but no. I my mouth sometimes.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, so I don't know, because sometimes I feel like you can say things that may not be like.
That's why I say my truth. I say my truth. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. I'm being honest. Like, I will speak my truth, how I feel. I'll get it off my chest and I'll move on. Wow. But I have to get it off my chest.
Well, speaking about moving on, let's move on, because this week, I mean, that's enough relationship talk for one day. I'm ready to hear some of the hype. So this week, if you watched any of our channel, you know that this week we had two big things that happened as far as the film world. We had the release of Falcon Winter Soldier, and then we had the Snyder Cut. We already gave you our first impressions. We stayed up early in the morning just to give you our first thoughts when the episode of Falcon Winter Soldier goes. So let's talk about that before we get into the Snyder Cut, just to see, now that it's been a few days, to see, it brewed in a little bit. Maybe you guys rewatched it. I rewatched it, but you guys would catch more snippets than I would. Like, did you guys' opinions change at all? You know, from now versus like that morning.
Did you call it a snippet?
I haven't had a.
I've been drinking.
Go ahead.
I haven't had a chance to rewatch it yet, but I did actually do watch a couple YouTube videos on exactly who John Walker is, the U.S. agent, or however he's going to be down in the future, the new Captain America and whatnot. And found a couple. Actually, I think there's 3 actually pretty funny. Maybe the third one isn't all that funny, but it's kind of will be interesting for future. But so not to give you a 20-30 minute video on just who this guy is, I'm just gonna 3 things. First one, he didn't start out as Captain America or US agent. He started out as the American hero, or called the American something. But anyways, he wore a red, white, and blue costume, and he was in the army. A shady guy offered him and his buddy a kind of a super soldier type of serum that was actually less super soldier, more steroid type of rage after. Okay. So he ended becoming a wrestler for a while, and then he became a hero, and he would hire ex-wrestlers to go commit crimes, and then he would beat them up, and that's how he gained his notoriety. As
what?
So spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That sounds like a boy. That sounds like a boy's kind of.
Yeah. Then eventually he would only go and fight crimes that were only covered by the news. He wouldn't do like vigilante type of stuff.
That's totally like the boys. That's
now then he finally got some notoriety, and some guy kind of hired him, and he became kind of property of the United States of America, because again, he was still in the Army or Navy or whatever he was in, and his choice of weapon wasn't a shield. It was a kind of lightsaber type sword that was in the design of the Statue of Liberty lamp that she holds up.
What?
I think it's just really hilarious.
What? Like a torch?
Kind of like a torch. It was like a lightsaber torch. What? So eventually he gets whatever. Eventually that goes away. He gets a shield, becomes U.S. agent, or he becomes Captain America. Captain America becomes wears that U.S. agent outfit, the red, white, and black outfit, whatever. Down the road, he loses his memory. I forget how exactly he loses memory. He changes his name from John Walker to Jack Daniels.
Oh wow. They can't recycle all that story.
It cannot be coincidence. That's the second funny part of it.
What?
To me. So then the third part, which I kind of thought was funny, is eventually with the memory loss, he becomes kind of psycho. He kills a guy. They take away the Captain America mantle. He becomes U.S. agent, and he beats up Hawkeye and takes over the West Coast Avengers. And he sends Hawkeye. Hawkeye leaves, and he starts a new Avengers team in Michigan called the Great Lake Avengers.
That's how they started Great Lake? Why would you? Oh wow!
What? I wonder which of those storylines is going to be adapted into this universe. I wonder which one they're going to use.
Yeah, I think it goes perfect. The whole John Walker to Jack Daniels, because we're talking about our drinks every day.
Yo, you know what? I do like. I hope they do. They're not going to change his name. That's just wild. But I hope.
I know they're not.
Introduce Hawkeye and have him whoop his butt, because it would transition into him like kind of retiring and then teaching the new Hawkeye.
Yeah. That's possible. That's the one out of the 3 things I think is possible. I don't think he's gonna be walking around with a lightsaber or torch anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, I told you that he was a little suspect from the moment, like just the way that they made him smile. It wasn't a sincere, there's a difference between a sincere smile and like a creepy smile. Like the smile that he had in that first episode was a creepy smile. It wasn't like,
what it was? But you know what it was though? It probably was the fact that his little helmet thing didn't fit right. So I sent you guys memes where it looked like the granddad from Up.
Yeah,
his face
that was
did
my
look
favorite
like that.
one. That was my favorite one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one
kind of looked like that.
The whole I ordered this on Amazon, and then I ordered this on Wish. It was Chris Evans, and then this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool that Kurt Russell's son is in this too now. So I hope he does good acting wise, but all he has to do is eventually like ease into like batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And the better he does, you know, there's potential for them to get deeper in the storyline. You know what I mean? Because different actors do have, you know, you have the potential to be able to, you know, if you do something so well, or if the fans start to like you, potentially writers could start adjusting what they're doing in your favor. So
yeah, that's what they did for Scarlet Witch. Yeah, that's exactly what they did for.
If they do, So if he does really well, who knows? They might get into his story a little bit more. So you know, Anything else from that show that maybe changed? Did you rewatch it, Trevor? Yeah. I watched it, but...
So I like to pat myself on the back. Yeah, his sidekick turns into someone who's significant. The Juarez, or what's his name? The Latino?
Torres.
Oh, Torres, sorry. What was it? I don't know what his first name was, but it's cool that he's gonna be, or he's supposed to be the substitute Falcon for a little bit.
Yeah.
But after another watch and then watching a couple of those YouTube videos, they brought it to my attention where he was kind of recording everything, kind of like to see exactly what's going on with Falcon. Like he's doing another way of studying his habits, studying how he's fixing things. He even tried to grab something from him when he was at the dining table, whatever.
Yeah, the dining table, yeah.
And he's like, no, because the people have been messing it up. So it's like, are they trying to? And even with his task that they gave him, they didn't give him backup. They didn't give him anything. They didn't give him information. They just go to this spot and whatever, get this so and so. So it was like so weird. Like they're trying to set him up for failure. So it's like the government always, because they have that apprentice, maybe he's a spy and he's not necessarily the good guy who's going to be like, you know, have valor and be in that secondary sidekick role, and someone to just completely replace all the heroes that exist. That's why we have that new Captain America. So that's a cool little theory where it's see if they play that up, where it's like Vought, like in the Boys, where it's they have a team, they have their persona, and like you said in the storyline, where it's just him doing stuff that's going to be on TV just to put up the show of we got a good guy. And
it could be something that's going on with Zemo as well, because we didn't see him at all in the first episode as well. And he's definitely going to be the big bad. Well, I mean, he's going to be one of the bads in this series.
Yeah, and they did confirm a couple of the characters in the comics that are actual Thunderbolts that are going to be in this. So we'll see how much of the government influence on the super soldier serum, which they're probably randomly giving it out too. Because I don't know if you guys saw the end credits. There's the Easter eggs in all of the end credits.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't
what, like logos or something?
They show a picture, like a profile of the guy who's gonna play Isaiah Bradley, who was a black Captain America. They also have like the little book, you know, like when Zemo says that the code in order, and
I did see that. I do remember that. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and then, but they also have a little blue vial that kind of looks like it could possibly be that super soldier, their variation of a super soldier serum that maybe is being distributed. But like little things like that. And I was also right about I wasn't right, but I did find out they're expanding on that character.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, with the face print, the handprint on the face.
Yeah.
Where she's gonna be, it's confirmed that she's in the Hawkeye show. So it's like, if they all have handprints, is she associated with that same super soldier serum as well? Yeah. For everyone that doesn't know, I'm talking about a character called I was gonna call her Chaos. Echo. There we go. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
I know nothing about Echo. Like I honestly have no I learned about it from you guys, but
I'm completely in the dark on her as well. So I'm kind of just what they go with that. How they go with that.
It has some innate superhuman ability to like create. I think it's more like multiple man. I'm not positive, but it's off of like I don't know if she could use other people's voices to create things like inanimate objects of like recreate that person or some weird or like displace herself real quick in battle.
Yeah.
But she's the same super soldier serum type vibe, but she has like some different offset power. So, but I don't know how far they're gonna go along with it. They'll probably like humanize her a little bit more than that, so it'll be simple where she's just like that girl, the main lead, in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. She might just be that, where she could just whoop everyone's butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they do this week. Any expectations?
Yeah.
Any expectations?
I'm hoping they do something on kind of a backstory, kind of incorporate Zemo. I want to see how he's going to be incorporated in this show.
He is eventually. If you watch the trailers, he even he speaks. So he knows.
I was so disappointed. I thought he was just going to be a one-off character, and that was the end because he's such a good baddie in the comic book series.
Oh, yeah. He I honestly think that now is the time to at least give us some backstory on Ben's Jack Daniels.
Well, you have to because he was the reveal. He was the reveal of this episode, so you kind of have to. Yeah.
So if they played it like they played this one, they could have him, but then tell another storyline, whatever, of maybe how Falcon Winter Soldier kind of meet up somehow.
Yeah.
Like something has to happen though.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for them to meet up right now.
Correct. Yeah. Well, when I rewatched it, I was just like, this time I was kind of focusing. I was trying to figure out like which background story I liked better. Even though Winter Soldier's backstory was a lot less, even though I would say it was primarily maybe based off of his, because when he was talking to the old man, but the way that they went about it was less on his history. It was more on how like the past reflected the future, when on Hawkeye, it was more like history. So like, I don't know. I like in retrospect, I really kind of like the Winter Soldier.
Really?
I kind of like the Winter Soldier kind of aspect of how they told his kind of stories.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to expand on it, of course, but like so far in the first episode, I like what they did with him better than what they did with Hawkeye. And I wasn't a huge fan of the whole thing with the sister trying to get the bank loan. We talked about that.
You mean Falcon? You mean Falcon?
Falcon. Sorry, what did I say?
Okay. You said Hawkeye.
Oh, my bad. Falcon. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of like that whole thing, but
there's intent though. It's because we don't know Winter Soldier's history. Outside of like, we don't know what happened when he disappeared. We don't know his story right now is paralleling what Captain America was going through.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see all of it. And I saw something too online where it's like, even when he was in the alleyway, remember when he went to go save Steve Rogers in the alleyway when he's getting his butt whooped?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this time around, he's in the alleyway saving his old friend, the old man who's little.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. So it's like him revisiting that stuff and then still dealing with like the PTSD aspect and like reincorporating himself into society, which is kind of cool. And he's struggling with everything. He's hurting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. That character was a little more developed, but I don't think that you could go as many places with Falcon outside of show us his family for now, because you can't go too far into his backstory because we know he was in the military and he got busted. Like we got more from him.
I guess it's less interesting as well. It's like
but they did semi show his tech savvy aspect, which
I didn't even know he had. To be honest. Like I didn't know he.
Well, I think he's kind of had to develop it to certain.
No, but did you guys watch the cartoons, the Avengers cartoons?
Yeah, but I mean, I did, but I don't remember any. I literally remember nothing about it.
Okay, because he was really heavy into that aspect. He was the younger addition in it, but he had vast knowledge in that. So he was working on stuff. He was like definitely helping in that aspect of it. Obviously, he doesn't have his actual Hawk this time around, but the Hawk has evolved now that he has Stark Tech, where he can give it instructions and it's doing certain things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So where do you guys see it? Because I know I said all my spiel, But what do you guys think? Where do you think it's going from here?
Well, I honestly, I agree with you in the fact that I do believe the next episode, I mean, because again, the difference between, Marvel and the DC, as far as they're going right now, is their storytelling is on point. So I believe the natural progression of where they left off has to be with the new fake Captain America. It kind of like they set it up too well. If all of a sudden you have the next episode and you don't even see him, people are gonna be like, what the heck just happened? Like, you know what I mean? They can't they're too good of writers to just leave it too vague right there. So I do believe we might see the focus on that, which I am seeing how they did WandaVision and the whole setup. Yes, their setup was longer, but this is more action. I do think their setups include action. Like, for instance, this versus WandaVision, first episode, it was a setup, but there was a ton of action in it. In the first of WandaVision, we didn't see any action for 4 episodes. Finally, the third episode, we see movement. Like you see him move that, you leave the house, like, you know what I mean? But I do think it will be that. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For sure. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they're gonna go the backstory of John Walker. Maybe they'll get in there with hopefully some of the Zemo and see what's going on there. And I can't imagine them going anywhere else at this.
They also actually have to. I don't want to say have to, but they should expound on what happened with whatever happened at that bank or whatever that facility was where they jumped out of the 2nd-story building. Mm-hmm. They should because nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what happens there. So I think we might see a little bit of that.
That's very true, because the intent for them is to get things back to how they used to be during the snap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they couldn't be robbing a bank, because that's causing more friction than unity. Yeah. So and then did you guys do research or figure out what LAF meant?
No, I don't have no idea what it is.
They said LAF was the initial action scene at the very beginning, and why Falcon went. The LAF was involved, and Bartrock was part of that. So it's like, how did he get out? First of all, because he got put away, but he was working for the government on the low, trying to delete some stuff. Yeah, and that's why, Captain America was like, "Oh, F the government," kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are his ties to the government as well? Because we know nothing about Bartrock.
Yeah, it was just in the beginning of the second Captain America movie, and then I guess he got put on the raft or some super jail.
Yeah,
he could have just gotten out because of the blip, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but you'd still be locked in, though.
I don't know if the raft was abandoned. I don't know. Prison may have been abandoned that he was in, and
I didn't even think about that.
He blipped back 5 years later,
when 5 years later, did you return in the exact spot that you left off at?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what if I was in the water swimming?
Well, yeah, those are the things that are kind of like
no, but
if you're flying on an airplane,
an airplane.
The way they said
I literally never thought about that.
The way that the writer.
What if I was pooping? What if I was pooping? Do I still got?
The way it was explained is you would be returned safely where you were at. So I'm sure if they were in the plane, instead of the plane, they'll be in the airport or on the shore of where the plane was flying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was not just returned, but returned safely. That was their vague explanation. But yeah, everyone thought about that. That over the waters in the plane.
Yeah, I never.
Or in the same plane.
What if I was with the chick that I loved, and all of a sudden, now she's gone? I'm like, dang it! At least give me at least give her back.
You see the meme? There's a funny meme, a video of a guy who got dusted when a girl was giving a BJ, and then when you see her, she had doing the cinnamon challenge, so she's coughing up ashes.
Oh my god!
She's like, because it's all ash in her mouth.
Oh my god.
That's so good. That's so good.
You would find that meme.
No, they find me, bro.
They find nah. All day. That's your morning devotion. Your morning devotion is to look at memes.
Well, yeah, first thing in the morning, I scroll the timeline and I follow a lot of meme sites, and then I distribute them and good morning.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, transitioning, so we talked a lot of storyline in the whole Marvel thing, but in the DC, now that we've seen the Snyder Cut, like, what are you guys' first opinions about like what happened there? I'll get a chance to say my piece, but like, any thoughts there? I have a lot to say actually.
Take this
about
one
that.
away, Trevor, because I know you have a lot to say about this one.
Batuman. This says Batuman. No, it legit does. It's Japanese.
Well, first off, I will say that surprisingly, that 4 hours for me went quicker than I imagined. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like I'm still not saying that I would rate that movie like necessarily really high, but like the 4 hours went by awfully quickly, like awfully quickly, way better than I expected. So that gave me a sense of feeling like, okay, so I was entertained, even if my mind was kind of like, oh, I don't like this and that, or like whatever. The entertainment value, it had to be there because I went through 4 hours like that without without not even thinking. So in some way it achieved its goal of entertaining at the very least. So I did really like that yeah,
right,
yeah.
As a whole, I actually loved it. Like you said, there was some love.
It's a very strong word.
It is.
How many girls have you told that word to?
Here's the thing. It was closer to how I felt it should have been originally. And it was a shit show.
Yeah.
It was a shit show in the very beginning. I know they gave him an extra lot of money where he changed clips, but not only did he add scenes, but it felt like he used alternate versions of what he had already filmed. So it's like, did they decide not to use...
He had a chance to rethink things too.
No.
To make it better.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did add some stuff, but they used alternate clips. So it's like, did they remove the clips that he wanted to use and use different clips? Because he didn't reshoot all of it. He only did a small portion of the reshoots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the alternate versions felt like there was more synchronicity.
Yeah.
In the whole vibe, and like that, like you said, it was an easy watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I legit didn't even pause it to go pee. I'm like, I'm gonna hold it. I was in, but some of the CG kind of, especially near the end.
That's what I was gonna bring.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
I was gonna bring it up for the beginning part of the movie, but go ahead. I'll say my piece when.
Okay.
It's funny that we all have that. We all have that. Consensus. Yeah. We all have it.
But I don't blame them, because I feel like maybe Marvel just hired the better CG guys, and they're only tied to Marvel. and DC's using college students. But it did improve though. Like even the look of Steppenwolf. That's my favorite. My favorite thing animation wise is Steppenwolf. He looks so much badass. The suit in itself, the fact that if you notice, his suit is made out of a bunch of little shards that he can control. So when the arrows hit him, and I actually rewatched that scene, the arrows penetrated, and then he kind of like flexes, and all. Then they close and break the arrows. I was like, dude. That's freaking dope. And it happened, right? Yeah, exactly. And it happened. I was thinking, like, why is he walking around with arrows in his chest? Pull him out. And then he goes like that, and it cuts him off. I'm like, oh,
okay. Trevor's over there watching the movie. He's like, he's trying to do that. Trying to do it himself. No, but he looked significantly better. Significant. He also looked more aggressive, like and menacing. The old version, I had to relook at the old. I actually rewatched the old version as well. And the other guy just looked
like, you
in my version, he was just like a British guy with bad skin.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like what I got. I was like, that is not. I am so glad that they did that. I didn't realize it at first that they reanimated him. I didn't realize it, but yeah.
Yeah, which was a nice touch, definitely. And then just looking at it as a whole, how he became a more sympathetic character, where he had a goal because he wanted to be back with his people, but he was shunned. Yeah. So you might not like it, but I like the added touch, because before we didn't care. It's like, hurry up and die. Yeah, I want to see Darkseid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, well, that's my thing about his story. Not to cut you off, but like, because I know you're gonna comment on what I'm about to say. That's why I'm gonna cut you off, because I know you're gonna comment on what I'm about to say. So yes, the first movie, he is just another villain, and I hate villains with no backstory because then there's no they're like I know we talked about this a little bit when we filmed that original one about villains with no backstory. There's no connection for the audience, and I like it when the whole thing about villains is like they don't realize they're crazy. They don't realize that they're wrong. And when you make that connection with them, you can sympathize with them and start to like the villain more and stuff like that. So the first one, no. This one you did, but in my mind, it was kind of like, and I know this is not his storyline, but in my mind, I was like, dude, this fool seems kind of like the submissive ex who accidentally did her significant other wrong, and he's trying in with all his power to like fall into their graces. He could like, you know, yeah, he's a badass, but at the same time, I was like, when he talks to Darkseid, and like it seemed like he was a little like, oh please, but I love you, please take me back, like I'll do anything for you. And I was like, ah.
Well, yeah, because
the Darkseid is like the hottest woman in the world to him, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
No, but
you're not doing this to the fugly girl on the corner.
Wait, so you get what I'm saying, Ben?
No,
you get what I'm saying. Like
no,
so
but you know, Chris, it's because you don't understand why. Now, that's the problem that they have with the characters. They didn't develop the why well enough. Darkseid's a god.
Mm-hmm.
He's a legit, like he's part of the New Gods. Like he's a god. So that's why he walks around. I don't know. I sent that meme where I sometimes I'll do this because as a kid watching that, I thought that was so badass.
Yeah.
That's how much he feared everybody. He didn't even care. He'd be in a fight with his hands behind his back like that.
Yeah.
That's just how he stands. But anyways, that's the plot hole that was basically missing, is that little extra oomph would be, why is he so like submissive, and why does he want to be part of that again?
Yeah.
They didn't really explain that to the people that don't know Darkseid and what that's about.
Yeah.
But huh?
You're talking about the first movie?
This one. He's talking about this one.
This one. But in general,
I think they kind of did, but
they did better. But a lot of people, because there's so much stuff going on visually, it's gonna like go over the head.
So what did you catch, Ben, in that? Because I didn't catch it then.
So for that,
I know he wronged him. I know there's something like he wronged him, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
they never expound. Like I believe with Trevor that they never expound, or maybe they did and I didn't catch it.
So he's trying to get back in his good graces, and I don't exactly remember what point of the film they did this, but Steppenwolf found that the life equation is on Earth.
Yeah.
So then when he presented that to Darkseid, he thought he was trying to get back in his good graces, and he knows once Darkseid is able to control that equation, then he's going to rule the universe. It's almost to a certain degree that equation is the equal to what the Infinity Gauntlet is in the Marvel.
No.
I get it, but I'm saying what me and Trevor are saying is like what did Steppenwolf do to be this submissive character?
They didn't talk about what his huge.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But
that's the missing piece to have a better connection to Steppenwolf, to make him a sympathetic villain. Like,
even though this version is way better than the first one, still though.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
way better.
But he's not at that level of like Killmonger.
No. Yeah.
Where we understand, but he just went a little bit too far.
Mm.
Like he's trying to, but we know why he felt the way he felt and why he was gonna do his whatever.
Mm.
So but I still really liked the progression of that, and the fact that like the first one, it felt like they're immediately trying to get into, all right, we got Superman back, instead of like this one waited a few I don't even know what to call it.
Almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you call it episodes, you call it like acts, because they're technically like acts, right?
Chapters.
Okay. But yeah, they waited a while, and it was a progressive type thing where it's like, okay, all this bad stuff's building up and adding, and we need our team. Okay, this team's not enough. We need Superman now. That has to be the solution. So before, it's like, you get together, we don't like each other. We need to get Superman. Yeah. Like they did a better job of building up to like, he's our last resort.
but it was also a good job that, you know, they like, one other sign of great writing is when you connect the beginning to the end. So one of the connections was at the beginning, they kind of set that up when they show like the Earth defenders fighting against, fighting against the villains in the first place. That the fact that they had to work together as a team in order to create it shows that, okay, so this way around, if we ever expect to defeat Steppenwolf, we have to work as a team, just like they did. And they were enough, like, and I don't want to say basic gods, but gods evolve is well with the times. They at that level were able to like push back Darkseid, and then you're just dealing with Steppenwolf, which isn't even that strong. So you need a team as well. And so I really like that first fight sequence. Like, not to say that it's like, tremendously good, because I wasn't a fan of like their animation is just like it's not my cup of tea. But I really like the fact that they also showed that he could be defeated, and like he's he's a strong being, but there's aspects of working together as a team, and what can they do as a team, and how they utilize each other. Like I don't know, I really like that first fight sequence, and they related that to the end where, okay, now Superman has to be in a team in order to defeat Steppenwolf. So I don't know.
But it, in that fight sequence, it took the old god to defeat the new god.
Correct.
Because it was Zeus and Ares, who they actually used the same
Artemis
from the Wonder Woman movie that drove the axe into Darkseid's shoulder.
Did you guys realize that he almost got the Green Lantern? I had to rewatch that. I read about it. I had to rewatch the scene.
He means get the ring.
Oh yeah,
like it almost came to him. That would be crazy. That would have been crazy.
That Green Lantern character is in the original comic with Green Lantern. Like they changed him where like he's gay now in the comic books, but the original Green Lantern. But they use that same like the character. They just built a CG version, which is kind of cool. But what was I gonna tell you? Oh, when you mentioned the whole fight scene with the old gods.
Yes.
How do you feel about them switching Steppenwolf, and then they put a young version of Darkseid there without his Omega beams and stuff?
I love it.
I did like it. I really enjoyed that whole scene. But it drove to the point to where you had to be united to defeat this guy.
That's what I mean. I mean.
But that's without the Omega beams.
Yeah.
And like he's younger, so now he has his armor. He's like, like a teenage Thanos. That's the equivalent of a teenage Thanos. Now he's a veteran who's been doing more damage.
That's speaking of how the writing's getting so much better. Like how like Zack Snyder's writing was just better because he saw those connections, and like even that is a setup. A young even that is a setup, and it's like, okay, that's great writing. When you just have it all in one thing and you have a bunch of explosions and all this CG, like where's the story? Like it's completely lost. So much so that I'm not sure of another movie where they've literally had the original director. I mean, he had a personal issue with his daughter, but like how many movies are like literally you're taking the same movie and putting it out there? Like how many times does that happen?
And then, but the fact that what got me excited, and I think that they're actually going to go through with letting him do one more, not two, because he wanted to do a 3-part. They're going to they have to let him do one more because it's so widely loved. I know you guys are like love strong, but from all the BS that they've done in the past movies, this is love. Like it doesn't take much to sway us from. That's why they've been putting out crap DC movies, because they depended on how much we love these characters.
And who directed those crappy DC movies?
That doesn't mean wait. but after Suicide Squad comes out, I feel like that might change, even though it might not be deserved completely. But we know how good James Gunn is with ragtag.
I have faith in James Gunn.
I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in him.
It doesn't mean that they can't expand and actually improve on who they hire to do certain things. They might put certain people in charge to make sure there's more structure. Because the problem is with DC is they don't have a structure at all. Like, and that's why.
They don't. They're all over the place.
They're all over the place, but like, so, and I'm not sure what the role, and maybe you guys have known whether James Gunn, like, whether he would be a possible candidate to take over when Snyder kind of like finishes. But his whole thing is he's really good with comedic timing as well. And one thing that I did not like about this movie was that, and like the original version was just cheesy. I mean, the when they try to make jokes, they were like super cheesy, like Superman, do you bleed, like that? Oh, I was so
no, but that's not a joke. That's a callback.
That wasn't even supposed to be a joke.
That's a callback, but it was funny to us because it was stupid.
It was just so like, oh my god, like it was. I was like, there's a lot of cheesy things in there, but the thing is, like with Snyder, he took a lot of that out to make it more serious. Even Aquaman's character, you don't see him as this rowdy character in this version. When I rewatched it, he's not as rowdy. He's more serious and like to direct and to the point. Which I'm not saying it's a knock on Snyder. I like the fact that it's going, but like certain things that I didn't like around the seriousness is like Cyborg. I am used to my favorite Cyborg is a Cyborg from the Teen Titans the animated series, not the new one. Where all I'm saying is that like Cyborg has he like, and I get the story that Snyder created, and when you show his backstory, you can't possibly be in good spirits. You could like how?
But here's the thing though, Chris. You're talking about a kid's show. You're not even talking about what really happened to. He didn't create that story. That story already existed.
Yes, but
that was an actual comic story.
I'm just saying it as an example. I'm just saying it as an example. Because like when I saw Cyborg in this film, there like he was so far serious. Like it's the difference between an actor like just playing like how life is created versus playing serious 24/7, even when a good thing happens. You got a ship to run and you're like,
yeah. Chris, he's a robot. He's a cyborg.
I get it.
I agree with Trevor on this one. I do.
No, bro. Like, have some sort
no.
Even in the first, they took out of the first cut when he says "booyah." Like they even take that out of it. Like okay,
no, they didn't. They changed the way he said it. He said it once, and if you watch it again, he says it once, but he doesn't say it in the same tone. You want it in the Teen Titans cartoon.
No. I'm okay. No, I'm okay if he doesn't say it like that. All I'm saying is that like, okay, like where's the like, and I like Snyder made it a lot serious, but I feel like there has to be some sort of comic relief in some certain ways.
Okay.
The best thing that I saw was when the Flash. You know, when the Flash has his first scene, like he's my favorite character.
He was the comic relief, really.
No, but that's what he's supposed to be. If you, Chris, if you understand, I know you know the acting aspect and you know how character development is, and you understand certain characters, they're just not completely made for it. Cyborg, there will come a time where they'll lighten him up, but it's so close to his trauma. He can't be right now.
And I agree with that. I agree with that.
And as characters as a whole, Batman is not funny.
No.
Wonder Woman is a feminist.
Yeah.
Superman, he's going some more drama than usual. He's usually more lighthearted, not cracking jokes that are funny. But the comedic relief is Flash. If they ever introduce Green Arrow, serious, but he might have a little more of that humility and like someone we could relate to who has no powers, but you can't expect humor from all of them if they do like Plastic Man or like there's other characters.
I'm not saying
Green Lantern too as well. Not John Jones. Not
John Stewart.
Not John Stewart.
Wait, so you want Ryan Reynolds to come back?
Jordan.
No, but whoever.
Ben wants Ryan Reynolds to come back and do another Green Lantern.
No, I'm just saying that
character. I'm just kidding. That movie was terrible. That's a joke.
Yeah, that must be a Snyder joke. We don't get it, man.
All right. So if I give you guys my take on it, like beginning, I think was a bit well done, because if you remember the end of how Batman Superman ended, it's Lex Luthor in the jail going, you rang the bell, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, he's coming. And the first thing we see coming into the Snyder Cut is Superman screaming in pain as he's dying. And that to me kind of signaled the ding dong or doorbell, or however you want to say it, kind of the way that Lex Luthor was saying that at the end of the Batman Superman movie. And I thought that was fantastic, the way it just kind of went across the entire earth. And the fact that they didn't jump right away into that whole Wonder Woman scene where she saves all the people from the terrorists, and you kind of get the backstory of Flash and how he's during his struggle. You get the backstory of Cyborg and kind of his story, and even to a certain degree, the first thing they show is Bruce Wayne going out looking for the Aquaman. And I think that was, again, a way better way that they did that instead of how they did it the first time.
Yeah, they explained it. Why? I was like, why is he on a horse? But they said, like, all the helicopters, right, couldn't fly in because of the bad weather.
Fantastic way to start. And I went into this movie, I didn't even know it was 4 hours. I didn't even look at how much time it was. And knowing that Snyder directed Man of Steel and the Batman Superman movie, I was just like, I'm bringing my expectations super low. I didn't care what anybody's hype was about it. And I watched it the first day when it came out, so I didn't have any reviews to go off of, or anybody's opinion that I appreciate to actually bring into this, and it was fantastic. I thought it was a great movie. I'm not in love with it, but it was good. The Flash scene was good. I think a lot of the graphics and stuff like that were kind of off key to a certain degree at certain points. I just based off of that it was just a remake, and they were pulling stuff and putting stuff together as fast as possible to get this out. That's why maybe it kind of looked like that. So I'm going to give them kind of the benefit of the doubt that maybe it would have looked a lot more clean and sharp if it actually went through to the final end. But again, the Steppenwolf was fantastic. My favorite character in the DC universe is the Green Lantern Corps. I love them all the Green Lanterns. So when he got mentioned, he got shown. When Steppenwolf is telling Darkseid, Earth is vulnerable, they're wide open. The three things he says is the Amazons are almost dead. There's no lanterns, and there's no Kryptonian.
Yeah.
When he said the lanterns, I was like, oh man, that's dope. Okay, they're trying to incorporate them now, because all we got in the first movie was just the fight scene between the Lantern and the Steppenwolf, which I was like, there's no way this Lantern's gonna lose to Steppenwolf. It's trash, but the fact that he got the dark side makes it more interesting.
Yeah, they showed the dead Kilowog too in the dream sequence.
Yeah, Yeah, I caught that too. That was the third Lantern reference that I caught. That was really, really cool. But oh man, I got off key there. I thought, even though they changed the Wonder Woman scene too with the terrorists, and I think that came out a lot better too. She kicks a dude, and he like breaks his neck, and the back of his head explodes on the wall. You catch it. I barely caught it, and I thought, oh shit, that was awesome.
Yeah. And then the way she killed the dude at the end, and she put everyone else at risk down like on the floor. Like, you didn't have to do this. You're fast enough to stop all the bullets. You could have easily disposed of the dude. But you wanted to make it theatrical. Yeah,
that's fine. I that just kind of a pop for people watching the movie, and they want to show off her skill to a certain degree, because you gotta remember this came out before the second. This was supposed to come out before the second Wonder Woman movie. So
no, that one don't exist.
Oh my God,
1984 don't exist.
I don't want to get off track with that. That's fine. I'm just saying I like the fact that she went out and broke a dude's neck against the wall, and the blood splattered against the back of the wall, and that's showing that she should be a force to be reckoned with. She's not this soft woman. She's an Amazon, and she will kill you if he gets the chance to, or you're threatening someone that she cares about or is trying to defend.
Especially if it's a man. Yeah, we know they don't like men.
And the Aquaman story, I love that I think it's Ocean Master is the character that the guy Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie. What's his name?
That's the first thing. That's the first thing that like literally when I saw that I was like, what's the Green Goblin doing underwater? Like literally, I was like, what's the Green Goblin doing underwater?
Yeah, I can't remember. I only watched the Aquaman movie once. I think it's supposed to be Ocean Master. So I'm glad they can incorporate. Is it not? Who's he supposed to be?
he is like a kind of like a mentor who's training him.
Okay, because the Aqua movie happens after Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought too. Okay. Yeah. And I kind of liked how they incorporate a lot of that, and a lot of the talks between the Amazon people. I think it was like Wonder Woman, Aquaman too. Kind of how they understand that their people don't get along anymore, and they have to kind of come together still to fight them off, just like their ancestors did back in the days, and blah blah blah. Was really good. I think a lot of the Batman stuff kind of was really didn't resonate with me that much.
Well, he wasn't even like, he was actually an ancillary character in this.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing.
Like the main character, Cyborg was pretty much the main character of this.
Yeah, Cyborg. I could see why Ray Fisher was extremely pissed off that the Snyder Cut was not coming out, because they took so much away from him, so much away from his backstory, a lot of the important stuff that happens throughout the movie, the whole defending the mother box and whatnot, and I was like, man, I get why this guy was pissed off at Warner Brothers. He doesn't.
But it helped carry the film though too, because he was made from the mother box. So yes, it should.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, I can't remember if they incorporate that from the first Justice League movie or not. That he was made from the mother box.
He was.
They did. They put that in. They did.
Okay.
Yeah, they did, but they like breezed over it.
They showed that his body formed from a mother box.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't remember that. I rewatched it. I rewatched it after, like, the 2 days later or something like that.
Yeah. I like the whole Batman or the whole Justice League versus Superman fight scene this time around. It was kind of shorter and kind of cleaned up to a certain degree, I feel, which was really good. And
well, so my whole thing with like when you said your first point about the whole thing where they started off the movie with the Superman screech heard across the universe, like that to me, again, great storytelling. And it's such a hard aspect when you get to like my whole thing with movies, which they got to in this, is like, the thing that I hate the most in movies is when they incorporate time travel. I hate that in all movies, because that's the point in any movies or series whatsoever. As soon as you incorporate time travel, I hate it, because as soon as you incorporate time travel, everything is possible. So I hate it, but we'll talk about that later. But my whole point there is that when you have a superhero that is as powerful as Superman, it's hard to, like, like, movies are always going to have to step over each other. Villains are always going to have to get stronger, and there's always a progression. So the fact that they're not denying the fact that everything in the world revolves around Superman, he literally formed a movie based off that fact, that everything, like when Batman said when the Flash came back that Lewis is the key. Lewis is pretty much is Superman.
Lois.
Lois Lane. He allowed the movie to flow into the fact that everything revolves around Superman and his feelings at the moment, or whatever is dictated around him, because he's so powerful that whatever happens in the universe with alternate realities, whatever, it all revolves around this guy. Everything in this universe revolves around this guy. And I feel like Snyder's story this time around really emphasizes that point, that everything, whatever, and even with the at the end, everything is going to revolve around Superman and how he feels. So you have to make sure that you are sensitive to Superman and his feelings and kind of thing. And I thought that was great storytelling, because maybe, like, if you just go on the very, like, when I rewatched the first story, that's lost in there, and it's just Superman is just this all-powerful being that happens to destroy another villain. No, it's not about that. It's the fact that he is so powerful that literally everything in the universe has to conform around his kind of emotional state at the moment or whatever. And I felt like this movie really emphasized that point, and it did a great job at it, me personally.
And even the final fight scene too was way better than what it was the first time. And it makes more sense that they bring all the mother boxes there into this highly radioactive area where people are not supposed to be survived or living, instead of having the original ending where they're saving that family and so more.
I actually missed that, like, low key, like I kind of missed that family. Why? Like, I know it was irrelevant. I'm not saying that it's good for the story, but like I remember watching it, and I remember, like, because I watched the Snyder Cut before I rewatched the other one, and I was like, man, wasn't there like this like family in a house that something happened. Like
Mhm.
what happened to the family? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I felt like
well,
I had
it kind of established it somewhere in the middle of the movie when Steppenwolf and his army gets there and they're saying this is too much of a toxic place for anybody to live. And I was like, okay, they probably took out that Russian family. That's a good sign.
I was so happy.
I'm not saying it wasn't needed. Yeah, it's great. But.
It was better. Flash doing what he was doing, trying to create the speed force, get fast to push along the story, than him pushing this family along in a truck.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. It's a waste of time. It's a waste.
Yeah, that was a waste of time. Where now he's doing the circles to build up the speed force to.
Well, that's interesting about the Snyder Cut. So this one is four plus hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much of this movie do you feel like is wasted? And it's funny because if you look back at the hour and a half movie, I could at least mention probably like 20 minutes that's wasted. You know what I'm saying? 20 minutes out of that, an hour and a half is wasted. But the 4 hours, I can't really tell you a scene where I'm like, oh, they could have left that out. I feel like everything progressed towards telling the story properly. And that,
I have one.
Oh, you do? Which one?
I do. And it's only technically it wouldn't if he was allowed to make more movies, but the part where Superman's mom's talking to Lois Lane saying, "Don't give up. You need to go back to work. You need to like have your life." And then it's Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes no sense because.
Wait, no. Is there any rumors of a possible movie and incorporating him in his own?
No, but I told you it was supposed to be a 3-part series. So he's doing it on the hopes that everyone hypes it up so you can make another one. But if they don't make another one, it doesn't. It slowed down the pace of the movie to tell us that Martian Manhunter cares about Lois and her emotional state.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me why he would do that. Not saying that he's an asshole or anything. I just don't get why.
But that is,
you would even know who she was.
I'm like,
they don't continue that story. Yes, if you are correct, and they don't continue at all with Martian Manhunter.
And here's my beef with him. Why didn't you help fight at all? You knew the world was being terraformed in Man of Steel.
Well, no,
go ahead.
He comes from the psychology where it's like, I don't want to say like the least involvement, but he comes from like he's a very thoughtful individual. He's he's an intellectual. That's more like he's an intellectual. And so sometimes like I feel like even in real life people think sometimes it's better to not get involved than to get involved. I think what if he took that route? Like maybe it's better to have a lack of involvement in this situation than involved.
Okay, so
maybe he's thinking of it as like a different.
He's basically Batman and Superman put together. Who's afraid of fire? So where he came from Mars, what was happening to Earth happened to him. They eliminated all of his people, right, Ben? The white Martians killed off the green Martians.
Yeah.
So he should see what was happening, and like just in like a PTSD, like traumatic situations, like I can't have this happen again. Now I have people to help me, or flee Earth completely. Like he can't hide. Was he going to turn into one of a Kryptonians? Like he didn't do that. I feel like, I don't know. But even then, that was solved, and another issue came in that was even bigger. And I'm pretty sure he knows who Darkseid is. Like there's, if there's historical facts, I'm pretty sure on Mars at some point there was that same deal. So he should want to contribute somehow outside of talking to Lois and talking to Batman, who just woke up, because he's like, whatever, dude. I'm going back to sleep.
It was kind of pointless. I think he was just trying to establish him as a character, but wasn't exactly the best way of doing it.
Okay. But here's the thing, or maybe because I know why. So that last scene was supposed to be Ryan Reynolds and another Green Lantern. Already up and talk to Batman, but they weren't allowing him to because of, I don't know if they were like, because Green Lantern Corps was in the works and this other stuff. So like,
but they're putting that on HBO Max, that TV show.
there's no writing and no production yet though. So
Oh,
it was kind of put on pause. Everything kind of got put on pause when his daughter passed.
I see.
So I'm pretty sure. But did you see the lineup? There's an actual lineup of things that they're gonna start writing. So some's gonna pass, some isn't. Zatanna, Batgirl, like they had like 12, 15 different things.
Well,
So-
Dwayne Johnson just tweeted something today or yesterday about that they're gonna start Black Adam in about 3
Oh.
weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the script and
I
everything.
didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about
He's
that.
been working out for weeks though. That dude is like more ripped I've ever seen him in my life.
Mhm.
Really?
Like the same bulk, but like
Yeah.
converted it all to definition. So he's just like a massive muscle now.
Mm.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline where like this and Suicide Squad in August.
Mhm.
If Suicide Squad hits, all this other stuff's gonna flood out.
Almost.
And
I think it will hit. I think, I
But-
don't know. The trailer got me pretty excited. Like I like
but-
the route that they were taking.
yeah, me too. But the way DC is, it's just going to be a lot of random stuff. Now you need to sit down and think of these things like Marvel has. So they methodically throw stuff out, but it's all attached to each
Well,
other.
that's what I'm about to say. Like it's the whole thing where it's like in real life, we talk about a thing called generational wealth and how certain ethnicities think generational wealth versus certain ethnicities think like current. I feel like DC's only thinking about like, all right, what can we do to like make a bang and make money like right now? And Marvel's like, no, let's set up this storyline to last us 20 years. So whatever we do now, let's make sure that it's consistent. Marvel does that. DC has not really done that yet. you know? Yeah. So,
And then even if you have the story, put Easter eggs to plant seeds in our head to get us excited for what could possibly happen, and technically start writing on whatever these bloggers and people like us who are interested in it were like, oh, I hope they do this, I hope they do that. So when they're writing with the idea of what we're already passionate about and want to see.
yeah.
So they can incorporate what we're already like hoping for. So and then the payoff is even greater because we've been anticipating and waiting for 7-10 years.
Oh, Ben has red cheeks now. The lighting in his face. He has a fleshy red cheek. Oh.
The hand going across right
I saw a random black hand. Like I was like, oh, that's. Now
I guess that light didn't help, huh?
he has rosy red cheeks. Oh, pretty. I'm just kidding. No.
Another plug here for that Buffalo Trace. Give you rosy red cheek right after you take a couple of good shots.
You want to look pretty? Buffalo Trace.
Want to get lit? Mix it with a vaccine. Mix it
No,
up.
but
That's Super Soldier Serum.
I'm with you. What else happened? Certain things that I like. Certain things that I didn't like. I mean, it was random points. There's only a few that I can really mention, but like Steppenwolf, like he could have like Cyborg was right there for the taking. Before the mother boxes fully merged, it was right there. Steppenwolf could have attacked him. Instead, he walks all the way around to make a little speech, to try to get him in the back before Superman shows up and the blade gets him right on the shoulder. I was like, bro, if this was like really if you were so passionate about this, about doing your mission, why not? All right, you see him right there, stop him. Like there are certain things like that in this movie that I felt like, I mean, like I was like, man, you've done so well thus far. Like, why don't you just clean that up a little bit? Like, do you guys remember that scene?
Yeah.
Like literally, he was on the side, and then he walks all the way to the side of Cyborg to get to the back, and then it was like certain things like that in the film where I was like, man, like I don't know, you kind of lost me there. You kind of like lost me there. Like
I think we're gradually getting to a point where they're getting a little more savvy and they're cleaning a lot of that stuff up for most shows and whatever. Like we don't need the villain. Don't tell me the plan when I'm handcuffed and then I get out somehow.
exactly,
And then
yeah, exactly.
So it did have that vibe. Yeah, you're right. But
yeah, like I didn't like that. I was like, man, you just nah.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. But that's kind of how it's always been. There, like I said, we'll get to a point where you create a universe, you create boundaries and laws and rules, and we'll abide by those. And as long as you stick to them, we're cool with it. Like Marvel's done.
Yeah.
Like to the point where they explained how magic works. So we know, no, that's within the realm of possibility because blah, blah, blah. And that's red.
Correct.
That's chaos magic.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're being scientific with nonsense.
Yeah.
Or non,
That's a good way. No, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. Which we love. We'll eat it up because you created the rules and laws that we abide by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Which
any other comments regarding like thoughts, feelings about what
I love the end part 2 with Dark Side at the end, and they're showing pretty much they kind of reveal kind of some of his family.
Yeah.
Or part of his family. The
militia.
I'm looking for her name. I think her name's called Granny Goodness.
Yeah, Granny Goodness is dope.
Yeah, she's pretty dope. I'm kind of disappointed
trains.
she didn't say anything or do anything towards the end, but I was like, the movie's towards the end. But then his son too, I thought was a character I wish I would have saw, because I remember him from the Superman animated show, and his son's name's Calabac, and he like hypes himself up, tells Darkseid, send me, I'm gonna take out Superman, send me, and Darkseid sends him, and Superman like one punches him back to Apocalypse in the cartoon. It was hilarious, and he's kind of like one of those. He's kind of like to a certain degree the Steppenwolf character almost in this show. And when I didn't think about it after I watched the original one, but after watching the second, I was like, man, I wish they would have used his son instead of Steppenwolf as the villain. But
this perfect though.
Yeah, no, it was fine. But just because I remember that scene from the Superman cartoon, I was like, man, that was pretty good. He's such a kind of just reminded me of Steppenwolf to a certain degree.
Well, I appreciate the fact that they even included Darkseid in this one, because the first one he's pretty much non-existent. Like, how do you
non-existent at all?
Like you have that's that whole thing of setup that you were talking about, Trevor. Like you got to think of don't think of right now. You got to think future. Where are these films going in the future? And set it up right now for the future, because Zack Snyder even knows he's not going to be around in the future. So set the next director up for success. You know.
Yeah. And Marvel did such a great job with that with Thanos. He was even incorporated in the first Avengers movie in the beginning when he sends Loki. And they use him here and there. At the end of one of the movies, says, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and he goes and grabs the gauntlet. At the end of the Avengers movie, he like smiles. And he shows himself. The Guardians of the Galaxy movie, he's in there. And when he's sending I forgot the name of the character. The bad guy in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie to go get the Power Stone.
I was gonna say Ronan, the Destroyer.
Yeah. He sends Ronan to go get the Power Stone. They just did such a great job of incorporating Thanos into the universe where they didn't do anything at all till the Snyder Cut to show us who the actual bad guy is, even though we all kind of knew it already.
You know what they should have done and should do if they get a Wonder Woman out before they do another Justice League? Is introduced, because they didn't even show her, but the fact that they showed Granny Goodness, she has her what's the name of her group? But Big Barda's the leader from like the people that she trained. I just can't remember the name of the people that Granny Goodness trains. So Big Barda's like a huge ass woman, like 7 foot tall, but is like Wonder Woman and kicks ass. Like introduced those, and she retired at some point and wanted to live a normal life and married some other guy, but Mr. Miracle and stuff like that, which is crazy.
Is it the female Furies?
Yeah, the Furies, which is dope. And they didn't even show them, but the fact that they showed Granny Goodness, you got to show them. If they do a part 2, 100% sure they're using the Furies. 100% sure.
That would be like a way of doing it. It's like the Wonder Woman, not doing what they just did.
Yeah,
that would be a future, since they're hopefully done doing in the past Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and then recovering Patty Jenkins. Ugh. I found out why first Wonder Woman was okay. Wait, sorry. Are we continuing with this or moving on?
No. I mean, like this is our topic. Yeah.
Okay. So I had heard that Patty Jenkins didn't write the first Wonder Woman. She directed it, but she had more influence on writing and like creative aspects of the 1984 and why it was so bad.
Yes.
Because every aspect of that third act, I just couldn't, man. I couldn't. Like the villain got away scot-free with his kid. Like everyone knew who it was. Like make everyone wish it back. Like it was.
And it was too
bad.
easy. It was too easy.
Yeah.
Like, it just the whole movie was terrible.
Yeah, they wasted Cheetah. Oh my god.
Yes. Not only the animation wise, but the character as well.
Yeah.
Especially with oh man, I can't think of her name.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. She's such a great actor, bro. Like utilize her strengths. Like, oh man, like that's a waste. That's a waste of her talent. Yeah. That's a waste of her talent for that character.
She's not the only talented one. The villain is kind of talented too.
Oh,
he was my favorite Star Wars character.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah. That's such a well, he did, you know, honest. I mean, he did all right in that. Like with what he's given. Okay, you're given a script he did the best that he could with the script that he was given.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah, you're right.
But
so did his Asian son.
Yeah, I was trying to find out who was the wife. He must have got with a little Thai lady or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
there. But
that was so weird. Like, where's the mom? Like, this whole thing. Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. That's
yeah.
Oh well, but yeah,
it was good.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, how do you guys feel about? I don't know if you've done research or know anything about the upcoming shows like Moon Knight. Are you familiar with them?
I'm familiar with Moon Knight. I know
how do you feel about
from
that?
Is it the guy from Lord of the Rings? No, not Lord of the Rings. What's the other one with the wizards? Harry Potter. He's supposed to be playing Moon Knight.
He was in Star Wars.
No, the guy from Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe. I thought he was gonna be Moon Knight. No.
He was in Star Wars. He was the pilot.
Oh, I know. Okay, Poe. He was Poe.
Yeah, Poe.
He's gonna be. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Which I prefer over Radcliffe for sure, because Moon Knight's hand-to-hand battle, and I don't want to see Harry Potter fighting. Harry Potter can't hold his own. He's gonna put on 50 pounds of muscle, or are they gonna let him have a little wand?
Muscle doesn't affect your magical abilities, bro.
No, but but Moon Knight isn't magical.
Yeah,
he's
actually kind of is.
Huh?
He actually kind of is magical. He gets his powers from the moon,
he gets his powers.
Egyptian moon god.
But he is very, very much so a Marvel Batman, where the way he's gritty, he's limited, kind of hands-on. He's gonna be doing hand-to-hand combat in the show. That's given.
Mm-hmm. He's rich.
Yeah, he's rich, but he actually has a little more of the superhuman fighting abilities and stuff like that. So, but I don't want to see Radcliffe do it. It's not
okay. Fine, get off. I'm off that subject. I was mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, no, but how do you? But knowing what you know now, how do you feel about having a Marvel Batman introduced into that world?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, to me, Daredevil to an even certain degree is kind of Batman-ish. So yeah, I mean, it's.
But
I just hope it's a good series. That's all I want.
If Ryan Reynolds didn't play Daredevil, I doubt, like, you could not have done that more perfectly. Like, honestly, I can't imagine a world where the Daredevil
Ryan Reynolds
would have been better than what he did with it.
No, that's not Daredevil.
Oh no, sorry, not Daredevil. Oh, sorry.
It's not Deadpool. You're thinking Deadpool.
Deadpool. Sorry. So no, sorry.
It's Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox is Daredevil.
Yeah, Charlie Cox did good, man. I want to come back.
I do.
Yeah. Man, I've been drinking too much.
And then he sips again.
Well, I gotta at least finish what I have. I have to at least finish what I have, and then I can call it quits.
Yeah.
I started drinking before we started the show, so
yeah, me too. But somebody had to go get a vaccine.
Oh, I don't even know what my water is. Whatever. Screw that.
No, but yeah, no, it should be a good show. I'm excited for that specifically. Obviously I love Batman, but the fact that he's gonna be wearing all white, and hopefully I don't think it'll be rated R, but just the fact that he's mentally unstable, because
it should be an R type series.
Yeah, because well, you know, did you want to talk about his backstory, Ben? Since you
I don't know
more
much about his backstory really, but I know he doesn't mind talking, you know, shit back to anybody that gets in his way, or even whether they're hero or villain. And he gets his power pretty much from the moon, and he has, again, like a Batman-ish type fighting style. I really can't say I'm an expert on him that much.
I always forget what's a disorder when you have multiple personalities.
Oh, bipolar. Yeah, he's bipolar. That's right.
No, not the other one. Not just bipolar, but
schizophrenia, when you have the in your mind.
Yeah, he's schizo.
Oh, is he schizo?
So he's schizo. Okay. He literally thinks he's different people at certain times. So he's a taxi driver. He's a billionaire. He does have money, but like he doesn't know exactly who he is, and he has multiple names. So it's like, I wonder what their approach is going to be on his character, because he's so unstable. Are we going to follow his viewpoint where we don't know what's real and what's not?
How would that fit into the Marvel universe though? Because like Marvel versus DC, Marvel's more lighthearted. So a character like that, which I'm not familiar with, like I'm letting you know, like I'm not necessarily as familiar with this character, but like Marvel, if I were to say one is more lighthearted,
you have to stop that. You keep on saying that.
Yeah, but I'm hoping they go more of the Netflix Marvel series type with Punisher.
Yeah, if they do that, yeah, great. If they do that, it's great. I'm just asking a question.
But it's a series. It's not a movie.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a series.
So
the series right now is controlled by Disney, when the series on Netflix wasn't. So that's why like there was issues with whether Punisher or Daredevil are going to be returning. And the actor for Daredevil said that he would return even after Disney bought it out. You know,
well, they all said they would. Yeah,
they all said they would. But who's to say that they're going to continue on that same pace? Like Punisher was, oh my God. Like Ben, you're like Trevor. Did you watch Punisher? It was fantastic. If they don't take that same like aspect and that darkness, like who's to say it's the same? It's Disney, it's different. So you know,
they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's
Disney's already come out saying that the next Deadpool is gonna be R-rated as well. So
really,
you do realize if they do a series, they have Hulu, so they could easily put it on their Hulu and instead of putting it on Disney Plus, or having, because I don't think they'd even change the rating. They treat it like Ben, is a Marvel or a DC that has Image Comics for the grimy
DC.
So you know how they put all that extra stuff on that,
just so that's where the boys came from.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I feel like it's gonna be the same thing. They're like everything that's a little darker, they could easily put on Hulu to protect their image of being Disney.
Yeah.
Even though I know their history.
You just have to
no, but it's hidden. That's the thing about Disney. It's like they mask. So your version of it actually would make sense to me, because if you release it on Hulu, that's a perfect way of Disney being Disney. That's a perfect way of Disney being Disney. Like if you like, that's why I say like I doubt that they would release like this Punisher show, like the Punisher show. I doubt that they would put it on Disney, because it's, you know, it's the name.
Rough. You know? But you could technically just have a section that has to be unlocked for adults to watch. It's so simple to do.
Put it on Hulu. You own Hulu. You know why?
I don't want to buy Hulu though.
You answered the question. No, isn't it a bundle now? Isn't it like Disney, Hulu, and ESPN? No, isn't it, Ben? Isn't it?
It's Disney. Yeah, Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Yeah, see?
But there's two different subscriptions. One opens up everything. The other one opens up the basics. There's two different Hulu subscriptions. I don't know what comes with the package, but I got the D23 deal. So I paid $148 for 3 years.
For 3 years?
What is it opening up?
When right before Disney Plus started.
3 years?
Yeah.
Oh dang.
What's closed that you can't get?
So I'm basically paying $4 a month, like 3 and some change. something like that.
Oh, I didn't even
remember,
know
right?
about that. Oh, fudge! I would have got
No,
on
but
that.
that was right. I got a well, one of my coworkers got a text from another coworker that was at D23 before, probably like 3 months before the Disney stuff opened up, or Disney Plus. So they're like, hey, I'm gonna send an email, check it out. They're saying if you sign up now and pay $148, you could get the subscription to Disney Plus for 3 years if you sign up right now. Like, I'm gonna get it. It's not gonna get better than that.
No. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you did tell me about that one, Trevor. I was gonna get it and I didn't, and then Verizon ended up giving me Disney Plus for free for a year.
Yeah.
And now I pay $10 for Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and the ability to have my phone have a hotspot.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you didn't have a hotspot before?
I don't get any of that. I literally only play for Disney Plus.
They took all the hotspot away.
I have hotspot on my phone.
I only pay for Disney Plus, so like I'm on the wrong thing. I need to switch mine up.
Oh.
Like I'm paying.
You need a bundle.
Yeah, I didn't bundle nothing. Like
after mine ends, Ben, let me just pitch in for your tab.
What do you mean? Like you got $3 a month? They're not gonna grandfather it in. They're not gonna extend it.
No, it's only for 3 years.
It's only 3 years.
Yeah, but they're not gonna extend it at all. Like for
why
like,
would they extend it? Now they have Marvel.
Perks. Yeah, but like give you some perks or something like that. Like
I'm not gonna get no perks.
Nah, they're not giving them nothing.
Yeah, give me perks for paying $3 a month. That's why. Well, because I want ESPN. I was telling Lonnie, like, dude, I watch all these subscriptions more than I watch cable, like outside of like the March Madness or Super Bowl or like NBA games. Like I could legit have Hulu or another subscription, and I don't need cable anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd be fine. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Why not?
He's giving us the sign. He's giving us the sign.
Question: who gets up from their seat like that?
Well,
Ben?
He wanted to give the fans a little peep show. That's why he's trying to give them a little something.
See if I can get this light better.
No.
But that's something that you do prior or not during.
Yeah, well, I thought I was gonna have time to play around with this thing today, but I guess not.
Oh, sorry. We could end this.
We got an intermission. But anyway, now that you guys know how this show kind of rolls, I hope you enjoyed clowning with us, seeing the topics, getting our perspective. We do this every week. So whether you like us or you just like to clown us, if you don't like what we said, put it on the comments. If you like what we said, put it on the comments. Regardless, get your involvement with us. We love hearing what you guys have to say. Well, again, we are Public Diversion. We post weekly, if not more. So like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Face.